Good afternoon. I am A. Allen, and I'm here with my co-host John Kidd, and you'll be with Streetwise for the next 25 minutes, CAN TV 21. We are streaming live on cantv.org/hotline. You can join the conversation by calling 312-738-1600. I am A. Allen, and we're here today to talk about Streetwise. John Kidd, we missed you last week, John. And so thanks for being
Miss
here
you guys
today.
too, but I'm glad to be back today.
It's good to have you back, John, because you're a big part of this show, and we want to thank you for coming out. And we always have a good discussion about Streetwise, because Streetwise have done a lot for you and I. And
Absolutely.
we have a video we're going to start out with, showing the video, because these people here are sort of related to the story. We're talking about running for good. That's the cover story of Streetwise, and this is what we're going to see, Streetwise vendors running for good. So take a look at this.
When you see me in the street, what do you see? Do you see someone who rises before the sun every morning to catch the L at 95th and the Dan Ryan, headed towards the Ogilvy station to get the train to Glencoe, just in time for the morning rush? Do you see the long day ahead of me, my struggles, what I go through? Standing in the rain, under the sun, against the wind or covered with snow. Many hours filled with rejection. Do you see my hand stretched out with a magazine, which I bought for 90 cents and sold to you for $2? When you see me on the street, what do you see? Do you see my smile that greets you? Hoping to demonstrate what I've learned about selling from mentors who believe in my potential. Do you see my confidence strengthen from having access to food, shelter, and clothing, restoring my dignity and self-respect? Do you see my dream for a new journey? An opportunity for transitioning to a career where I can learn new skills and grow? Can you imagine what would happen if you took a chance and hired me? I know you will feel my gratitude. And I know you feel my hope that more people will get the same care and respect that I found at Streetwise, that showed me the way to this place and this moment, so you can see me and know me and believe in what I can become.
Together we can help. Together we can help. Listen, you too can become a vendor. You are welcome. Our orientation starts every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock. We have right here, you can come to 4554 North Broadway, Street 350. It's the Wilson stop on the Red Line CTA. Come early, get breakfast, sales training, and receive a badge as a legal magazine vendor. Over here, legal magazine vendor, 15 free papers to get you started. John, you got started with this program, and John always referred to Streetwise as a family. John, why do you call it like a family life?
The reason I call it a family because it is what it is, Alan. It is a family, and I've been with Streetwise for about 2.5 years, and everybody is so nice, and that's what family is supposed to. How family is supposed to. The relationships we're supposed to have with each other, to be kind and nice to each other, and it's it gives you a sense of hope. It gives personally it gave me a better sense of who I am as becoming my own entrepreneur.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They have great people there. It's a fine organization, and by working at Streetwise, I got a chance to meet some very interesting people, Alan. People from all walks of life, people from all over the world, you know, and I done met people from Japan, Italy, Hawaii, all over. And just by interacting and talking to those people like I do, it makes me feel like I've been there, because I get a chance to understand and learn how they live, their cultures.
Right.
You know, and so that just took me to another level.
Yes.
It took me to another level, and see, that's what people in society need to go back to be family oriented,
Yes.
because people have become so divided out here. It's hard. You can walk up to the average kid now and ask them who their father is. They'll just shrug their shoulder and they couldn't tell you.
They don't know.
They don't know.
Right.
They say mama's baby, but papa's maybe.
Right. That's especially in the black community. You're absolutely right.
That's a shame. Kids have to say that, you know, and that's a reality. So by us being older gentlemen, males out here, we ought to be role models.
Yes.
So we can and let them embrace these kids out here, the youth, so they can learn what a family means.
Yes.
Because it's a lot of people out here that don't even understand what a family is supposed to be about. You know?
Right.
And it was different when I was coming up as a child. We had villages.
Right.
We had villages, and a village is people in your neighborhoods care for one another. They watch out for each other. They have block clubs.
Right.
If they see you doing something wrong, if they know your family, your parents, they will contact them, let them know.
Yes.
Then, you know, when you come home, you know, you're going to be disciplined for that.
Right.
But that went all out the window now. We don't have any more villages now.
I know.
That's why we see so much chaotic stuff on the news and read it in the newspaper.
The kids claim child abuse if you put your hands on them.
Right, and see.
Put a belt on them.
Right, and see, we need to start voting people in office that's gonna change some of these laws out here, because by changing the laws, we can change the course and direction of people, how they gonna go and how they gonna raise up their kids. You know what I'm saying? If we teach a kid, well, each time you do something wrong, your parent is not supposed to discipline you, pick up the phone and dial 911, you know, where's the discipline in the house?
Right.
There's no discipline.
There's no head.
But there's a difference, Alan, between abuse and discipline.
And discipline, yes,
See,
it is.
People know, they have medical doctors out there. They know when a child come to a hospital or something, whether or not they've been abused or disciplined.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
There's a difference, yeah.
You know, but it's a lot of people that's unfairly and been incarcerated because of that, disciplining their kids, or they're afraid to discipline their kids.
Families broke up.
Yeah.
Kids being put into juvenile detention and all sorts of stuff. But one of the first things that you said, and that I would like to follow up on, is you said that when out here selling Streetwise, that you meet people that you normally wouldn't meet, and so that is a good sense of community, to be able to step out and meet somebody that you normally wouldn't mix with. Okay, What is the chances that you meet someone from China if you wasn't selling Streetwise? Slim to none.
It would be just like trying to hit the jackpot on the lottery.
Okay, yeah, so it's
The
slim to
Powerball.
none.
It would be like trying to hit the Powerball on the lottery.
So we get a chance to mix with people that we normally wouldn't mix with. And not only that, but Streetwise, the staff is like a family, but then our customers is like a family too.
Right.
And then you talk about raising children. You being a great example to children when you sell Streetwise. You know why? Because you're making an honest living. You know, so many of our children are taught, you know, to make livings other kind of ways, right? Other ways than an honest living, okay?
Right.
An honest living, not only that, but you have your self-esteem. You're not out there holding your hand out and asking people for money, okay? Which is a panhandle, which from the old school we call them beggars and bums,
Right,
okay? That's what we call them, beggars and bums from the old school, panhandle. But there is a better way. You found it and I found it. Streetwise is used as a stepping stone, okay? Whatever you're trying to do, you can start with entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is being your own boss, okay? What we do is buy our papers and we resell them, okay? In order to survive. And most of the time people give us gratuity, which is even better than the paper. But, you know, nevertheless, we do understand that it's a family affair. Okay,
Right,
it's a
right.
family affair, and that's what I like about you. And you always talk about this when you come on the show. Family is important. Even if you don't get along with the family you're born in, then come join our family at Streetwise and make you some honest money. Okay.
Right.
And I really thank you, John, for sharing that, because not only are we a family with Streetwise, but you know and I know that we have a spiritual family. And we was talking about running before the show. And what was that you said about the running?
Well, the race is not. The race is. We all are winners in this kind of race. It's not given to the swift. Whoever gets to the finish line first. It's not about that. It's about whoever endured to the end. See, you don't become a failure until you refuse to get back up.
Right.
See, I'm sure a lot of runners in marathons and failed before, but they got back up and kept on running.
Right.
They got back up and kept on running, so they can never be called a failure.
Right,
See, we can never become a failure unless we choose not to get back up. That's what this race is about. Yeah. Don't give up. Don't give up on your hopes, your aspirations, and your dreams. Have that endurance, but make sure what you set goals, positive goals for yourself. Start off with short-term goals at first, then achieve those, then go to your long-term goals.
Yes, exactly. And then when you're talking about running a race, okay, with Streetwise, okay, whatever you may be trying to do in life, Streetwise can help you, because Streetwise is just a stepping stone. It may put you around just the right people at just the right time in order to do what you're trying to do. But first of all, you'll learn some entrepreneur skills, okay, which means that you'll learn discipline. That's what you was talking about earlier. Right. Children need discipline. Adults need discipline. I needed some discipline in my life because I could not show up. I wouldn't be here at this show because I had lack of discipline. I couldn't show up for nothing. But I found that I can show up for myself with Streetwise. I show up for myself by showing up on my post every day and greeting my customer with a Streetwise. And it helps my self-esteem to know that I'm doing something positive. Because Streetwise is a good magazine. Not only is it a good magazine, but it's very informative. Take this week's issue. It's talking about running for good. Now we have a list of all these different organizations that have a purpose for the runners, okay? It's not just running to get a crown, but it's running for a purpose, okay?
Right.
And that's the way I look at Streetwise vendors. Streetwise vendors are running for a purpose. Whatever your purpose may be in life, okay, you have to get started somewhere. So you can get started with Streetwise by coming in and coming to our orientation. Our orientation is every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock, okay? And it's 4554 North Broadway, Suite 350. You come in, get started early, get your breakfast, get your sales training, receive your badge, so you can sell magazines, and receive 15 free papers to get you started out with. 15 free papers to get you started out with. We'll get your wheels rolling, and we're going to talk more about running for good. But before that, John want to give a shout out to his people. So, Mr. Kidd, who you want to give a shout out to?
I would like to first start off giving a shout out to God, because He's the head of my life, and if it wasn't for Him, I can do nothing. But I definitely want to give a shout out to my wife, Sadell Kidd, my family. I want to give a shout out to all the vendors at Streetwise and all the employees at Streetwise, from the top to the bottom. And I also want to give a shout out for the Witness of Christ. I got a good friend named Sister Purnell, Witness of Christ in the Chicago Quartet Union Organization. I want to give a shout out to them too. And Mike Williams is a guitar player. He's a very fantastic musician, gospel musician. So, and I want to give a shout out to all the people that's in Lincoln Park at my new site where I work at Starbucks on Western Halsted. Shout out to all y'all, whoever looking at me out there. Y'all have a good day.
And thank you for those shout outs. And I want to give a shout out to John, because I've been to a couple of his concerts, and he already knows that I'm one of his fans, because they do some very good singing. And the name of your group is?
Brighter Stars of Harmony.
And when will y'all be singing next?
Sunday, we'll be singing on Roosevelt and Holman at 3:30 on Roosevelt and Holman. Yeah.
Okay, so in the meantime, we want to thank you for coming on the show, and we have another guest. We have Allie here, and she's going to give us a report on the Streetwise. Thank you so much, John, for coming. Okay, we have Allie here. That's going to either way. Yeah, go out there.
Okay, let me get my stuff.
Okay. So, Allie, welcome to Streetwise Can TV. we got on the overhead this article that you wrote, and you wrote this with the Sportswise vendors, okay? And so you asked them some questions. And we have Allie here. Thank you, Allie, for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
So people run for different reasons. And you interviewed 3 of our vendors in Sportswise, and they talked about what running meant to them. You know, can you discuss a little bit about how this came about, you discussing this with Sportswise vendors?
Sure. Well, one of my hobbies is running.
Okay.
And I talked to the guys at Streetwise and just asked them, what do you know about running?
Okay.
And they each started out saying, well, I have a little bit of a history with running myself, but I don't do it anymore. I don't have time. I'm not in as great physical shape as I used to be.
Okay.
It's just not in the cards for me.
Okay.
But each one knew a little something about running from personal experience.
Yeah.
And then I asked them, why do people run? And we got some different answers there. They thought, well, people run to stay healthy.
Yes.
People run because sometimes they have to.
Yes.
Like they might miss the bus if they don't
Right.
get in a jog really quick to catch it.
Yes.
And then sometimes people run to be different and be special. Like
Right.
John Hagen said, for notoriety. People run because they want to be recognized.
Yes.
And those are all true. But then people also run because they want to make a difference.
Okay,
And I
yes.
think that's something that people who aren't actively in the running community might not know.
Okay.
I explained to the guys that in order to run in any race that's put on by an organization, you actually have to pay for it.
Pay for the run.
It's not something that people just wake up and show up to and get to run for free. There's always a fee that
Yes.
people have to pay to get into the race and earn their bib.
Okay.
The bib, for people who don't know, is the piece of paper that has numbers on it that the runners tag to their shirts or to their pant legs, and that allows them admission to run in whatever organized race it is.
Okay.
And then those fees that people pay, those go to benefit different charities or different organizations with missions.
Okay.
So that's the idea of running for good, is
Okay.
that, you know, the money people pay to get into these races actually goes to help someone else.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because, you know, I remember you was running a race and you invited me to come out to support you. And me being a runner myself, I say, well, sure, I'll come out to support you because even if I'm not running, I get adrenaline from watching people that do run, you know, and that's part of the running, right? Even when they have the marathon every year, if I'm not doing it, I love to watch it, you know, because I get a adrenaline flow just to watch the people. And I felt the same way about you. What race was that you invited me to come? I remember, but do you remember?
I do.
Okay.
That was the 5K Race to End Homelessness.
Yes, now
and that
that's a
was
good
put
one.
on by a Safe Haven.
Safe Haven.
Yeah.
And you know, when I came out to see you, I don't know if I ever showed you those pictures, but when I came out to see you, on the sideline, I met the guy that started Safe Haven. We had actually did an article on this guy that started Safe Haven, him and his wife. They actually put their money into Safe Haven to start the homeless shelter, okay? And it's supposed to be a huge homeless shelter. But they organized this race so it's like running to end homelessness. And a lot of times, people think that, you know, people just be running, like the interview that you had with these Sportswise vendors. You know, they thought the same that I thought, you know, for a while, that people just get up and decide they want to run, right? But no, you're running for a cause. And that's what this issue is about, running for good. You're running for a cause. And you know, I never ran that race to end homelessness, but that's one of the ones that's on my radar because, you know, I'm for that cause because for the simple fact I have been homeless and I know what it's like. And so the idea of running to end homelessness sounds pretty good to me. And when I came to see you run, you was really excited and you did a really good job.
I sure
Allie.
was. Thank you.
Yes, you really did a good job. You know, in my running, I have ran a few races thanks to Back on My Feet because
And Back on My Feet is another organization that supports people through running.
yes,
right?
Back on My Feet is an organization. They actually help the homeless through running. Okay, so it's sort of like what you was running for, but they actually help the homeless through running. And what they did for me, is they helped me to pay off some bills that I had with a college, city college, okay, and they wouldn't let me back into the city college. They helped me pay that bill off, and then they help people to find jobs. Fortunately, I came to Streetwise and I started the entrepreneurship program, or the independent contractor, whichever way you want to call it, but it both sounds good to me. Okay, so I came to Streetwise, but nevertheless, before coming to Streetwise, I was running with them, and they helped me find an apartment. They helped me find an apartment. They helped me pay off some bills. They helped me get my first laptop computer. So back on my feet, I was hoping that they would call in, but I was unable to contact the office to get them to come in or call in. So therefore, I'm gonna just tell you that it's a real good organization. They do have a cause. Okay, they're not in this magazine, but I want to give a shout out to Back on My Feet because it's a very good running organization. They have many chapters around Chicago, and it's a nationwide organization, and they do a lot of good things for people that are homeless. Okay, I was staying at the YMCA, which is not like a homeless shelter, it's transitional living. But when I did find a place, they helped buy me beds, okay, which is important to me because don't nobody want. The only thing I probably could afford when I moved was a used bed. Don't nobody want to buy used beds these days, okay? So they helped me with some brand new beds for me and my daughter, and I'm grateful to that. And then not only that, when you talk about the cost of these races, you know, I had a chance to run a couple of marathons through Back on My Feet, and I did not know it cost like thousands of dollars. But nevertheless, they paid for it. So they was like, you don't have to worry about the cost, okay? I didn't have to pay a dime. All I had to do was show up. Okay, and that was a big part of transforming my life, is to show up to run every day at 5:45 in the morning. Okay, so if you can show up to run 5:45 in the morning, surely you can show up at a job. And that's why a lot of people go to Back on My Feet to hire people. I know Macy do a lot of hiring through Back on My Feet, and a lot of places hire through Back on My Feet because they know that these people will show up, and they help teach me to show up, okay? I've learned to show up today. You know, I learned to show up at my posts and sell my papers. I learned to show up at meetings at Streetwise. I learned to show up for my family. I have learned to show up, and that's very important. That's the reason why I'm here, because I learned to show up. Other than that, I wouldn't even be here. But
Well, you bring up a really good point, Alan. There's a lot of different ways that agencies and nonprofits and places like Streetwise can help people, but the only way that places like Streetwise can help people is if we have the funds to do so that we can help people who are in rough situations like you've been in and other people are in right now.
yes.
And the way that we get that money to come in is through donations or through fundraising or some of our fun events that we do. And another way to get people to be involved with an organization besides just giving money is to run a race and learn about that organization and learn about what they do and then talk to their friends about it.
Okay.
You know, that's for some of those big races, especially marathons that might cost a lot for a runner to get involved in.
Yes.
Those individual runners, they typically do fundraising. So
Okay.
they're not coming up with $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever that race may cost to get into. They're not coming up with that straight out of their pocket.
Right.
They're talking to their friends and they're saying, I'm running this race for this organization and this is what they do. These are the people they help. These are the ways that they do it. And I have to raise this much money by this time. I'm wondering if you can help me.
Right,
You know,
because
so-
I know they have a lot of races for a lot of different reasons. They have races for like Alzheimer's, they have races for cancer, they have races for homelessness, they have races, we just recently had the Shamrock Shuffle, okay? But they have races for everything to raise money for different causes, okay? So it's not like you just running to be running. Okay, one of the scriptures that I wanted to quote was 1 Corinthians 9:26, while John was out here. Therefore, I do not run like someone running without a purpose. I run with a purpose, okay? That's in the Bible, you know, to run with a purpose. In other words, whatever you're gonna do it with a purpose. Don't run aimlessly, you know, because if you run aimlessly, what is the benefit? What is the profit from it? You know, it's just for good health or what? But if you can run to get good health, and you can also run to support a cause. exercise. You know, and
Absolutely.
that's what this is all about. Run for good. Now, Chicago Area Running Association, which is Carol, they have a training program for the marathon, and I'd like to give a shout out for them because I did run with them when I was training for the marathon, and they're a very good organization. They help train you, and they train me well. Okay, they train me well in order to equip me for the marathon. And like John Kidd said, he said it's not given to the swift nor the strong, but them that endure to the end. And you did a marathon yourself, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay, and you finished.
I did.
That's the most important thing. That's one of the goals that you set yourself out for, is to finish it, okay? And I did finish the one that I started, and so it felt real good after you finish it, right? You know, so if you out there and you, whatever you may be doing and you want to get on track, I recommend that you come and join us at Streetwise. And I'm gonna give you the overhead again. It's Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock. Streetwise, 4554 North Broadway, Suite 350. Come and get your wheels rolling. The stop is on the red line, Wilson stop. Come early, get breakfast, sales training, receive a badge, and get 15 free magazines to get you started. Thank you for watching us and inviting us into your home. And I want to thank Allie and John Kidd for coming on the show. Thank you all so much. CAN TV.